Rhea Ripley, man, what is up with all of the wrestling fans turning on Rhea Ripley, man? Let's keep it real, man, all right? We got to keep it real, and we're going to be ranting on today's podcast. Y'all love a rant? Y'all going to get one on today's podcast. Let's get it started.
Welcome to...
You're listening to the Wrestling Takeover.
What is your name?
With your host, Jordan Turner, who's always going to keep it real.
Come on, King.
Inside and outside the ring.
Let me make myself clear. He's got the fans behind him, King.
It's time to take over, King.
Are you ready? He's all fired up now, King. The Takeover.
Let's go.
Man, what's poppin', gang? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast, your new home for bold takes, real talk, and a creative perspective. Don't forget that, man. If you're tired of the same recycled bullshit, all same wrestling talk, all positive, all negative, we keep it in between. We keep it positive and we keep it negative as well, while also keeping it 100, man. We never bullshit, never sugarcoat, nothing. We got to keep it real right here on the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. So if y'all could do me a solid, man, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, comment down below, press that like button, spread the word of the Wrestling Takeover Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/JT Takeover. Also subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Leave me a 5-star rating and a short review. Same as Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the vibes, man. Appreciate everybody tapping in on YouTube and continuing to support your boy. We gonna get it done, man. This is the most creative and honest podcast in the wrestling space. Audiomation, man. Everything is all audio. So I want to let y'all know that right off the bat. Right off the bat. Everything is audio. So if you're at school or you're at the gym, you're cleaning up in and around the house, and you want to put on them earphones, them headphones, and tap into the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. Like I said, if it's on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio content, be sure to always listen, man. We talk all things WWE. I might start getting into some AEW content once again. I don't know, man, but I'm going to think about it. But majority of the conversations, guys, is talking about all things WWE. And today, listen, I don't know what is up with the wrestling community, bro. Y'all niggas tripping, bro. Y'all niggas tripping for real, bro. When it comes to Rhea Ripley, I have no notes. I'm just going to be spazzing. I'm just going to be talking, y'all. So listen, check me out. Rhea Ripley, right? She got announced that she will be going one-on-one with Io Sky at Evolution, and it's going to be for the women's title. What's up with all the Rhea Ripley hate, bro? Like, I don't understand it. I'm confused. 1 minute, people are genuinely excited about Rhea Ripley. They love Rhea Ripley, the mommy persona taking off. And then it's like, man, fuck Rhea Ripley. It's like, guys, let's not do that. Stay in one lane. Don't be in between. You're in one or the other. You feel me? I'm a fan of Rhea Ripley. I love Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, to me, is a superstar. That's just me. I am a fan of Rhea Ripley. Now, I want to talk to the people who kind of feel like, oh, Rhea Ripley is, always being pushed. It seems like all they care about is Rhea Ripley. They don't really care about anybody else. And the crazy thing is, like, I understand where y'all coming from that. I understand where y'all coming from when it relates to that situation. But y'all got to understand something, man. Y'all got to understand something. All right. WWE. You look at the women's division. You look at the totality of the women's division. You feel me? This was always going to be the plan. That is what I want people to really, I would say, understand, that this was always going to be the plan. Rhea Ripley was always going to be thrusted right into the main event scene once again. Now, they're complaining about Why is Rhea Ripley always in the world title scene? Blah, 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 woo-de-woo. You know, put somebody else in there. She's going to beat Io with Evolution, and we're going to be right in the same situation here. I feel like Io needs to have a long reign with the title. Rhea Ripley shouldn't be beating Io Sky. Listen, this is coming from one of the biggest Io Sky fans in the WWE universe. I'm a massive Io Sky fan. I'm very skeptical. And I'm very nervous. You feel me? I'm very nervous. And it's not that I hate Rhea Ripley, because like I said, I'll keep repeating that. I don't hate Rhea Ripley. It's just that, let's keep it real, okay? Let's stop the bullshit. Let's stop that, okay? WWE has absolutely fucked over, Io and her title run. Let's keep it real, okay? WWE has done Io Sky a disservice as the world champion. She hasn't been on TV. She hasn't been on TV in any prominent role. She's missed, I believe, 3 consecutive Premier Live events. What are we doing? Do you not have any plans, WWE, for Io Sky? Because that's what it seems to me. To this viewer, it seems like you have no plans for Io Sky. And then suddenly we get thrusted with Rhea Ripley. But y'all got to understand something, man. The story, and it's so funny too. There are genuine people in the wrestling space. If it's on X, if it's on Instagram, I've been seeing it way more on TikTok. A lot of people are confused as to why Rhea Ripley is challenging Io Sky. I'm going to break it down for you guys in the most simplistic way I can possibly do for you guys. Rhea Ripley is 0-3 against Io Sky. She has never beaten Io Sky. People are saying, oh, there's no story. No, that is the story from Rhea Ripley's perspective. Through her set of lens, that's the motherfucking story. Io, I was confused that Io just came out there on Monday Night Raw and she just said, you know what, Adam Pearce, he left me in charge to pick my opponent for Evolution. Like I said, y'all should have known that this was the direction potentially for Evolution. So she went out there and she said, yo, I'm going to pick you, Rhea Ripley. We gonna thug it out. We going to have another match. It's going to be at Evolution. Hopefully it's the main event. I believe it should be the main event. We'll see what happens with that. But, you look at it from Io's perspective. Why the fuck is she going to face Rhea Ripley again? Why would she face her again? She has nothing to prove against Rhea Ripley. She's beaten her 3 times. So in terms of Io's story, what does she want to do? She wants to beat Rhea Ripley again to really prove that she's the better pro wrestler than Rhea Ripley, that she's just overall better than Rhea Ripley. You could look at that in that type of lens and be like, okay, I think that's pretty weak in my opinion. I don't think Io Sky, like transforming, just being honest with y'all, her story's whack when it comes to wanting to fight Rhea Ripley. It doesn't make sense. It makes more sense from Rhea Ripley's perspective. And people are saying, oh, Rhea Ripley doesn't have a story. It doesn't make sense. So you guys completely forgot that Rhea Ripley and Io have faced off at least 3 times. And Io has beaten Rhea Ripley all 3 times. It's either 2 times or 3 times. It doesn't matter. She is undefeated against Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's story is for revenge. She wants to be the top queen once again. She wants to get that title back. And most importantly, she knows that she can beat, Io Sky. That is the story for Rhea Ripley. Io is like, you ain't got nothing to prove. You ain't got nothing to prove, baby. What you gonna beat Rhea Ripley again? And you gonna be 4-0 or 3-0 against Rhea Ripley? You got nothing to prove. Like I said, I believe they faced off 3 times, and Io Sky is 3-0. Io has nothing to prove against Rhea Ripley. It's Rhea Ripley who has everything to prove against Io. So for those people who say there's no story for Io, I understand that. I do agree with you. There's no story with Io. But for Rhea Ripley, and there's genuine people who say that there's no story for Rhea Ripley, yeah, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. For real, y'all tripping. There is a story for, Rhea Ripley facing Io. Now, when you look at the matchup, right, and like I said, a lot of people are nervous because they feel like Io Sky is going to lose the title. I'm here to tell you that I do feel like Io is going to lose the title. I have a weird suspicion for that. But as I fantasy booked in my State of the WWE casual conversation, which you guys can go check out, I published that last night. That was the newest video that got published to the news feeds. Turn on notifications, man. If you turn on notifications, you guys don't, miss anything, right? But last night I did talk about this briefly, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit more in depth today, as this is a separate video. And I quickly mentioned yesterday that a lot of people feel like the plan should be Io Sky versus Asuka for the women's world title at SummerSlam. They don't want to see Rhea Ripley in this situation. There's an opportunity there for Asuka versus Io Sky. Why is the WWE going to potentially, pass up on that? You feel me? That's like, yo, WWE, what are you doing? Why would you pass up on something like that in a match that a lot of people genuinely want to see? For Rhea Ripley to win the title, like, what are you doing? And it's real thick. It's tough. But I really feel like WWE needs to give us Io and Asuka, and that Io needs to win this. Io needs to win this. And I did pitch a fantasy booking scenario with Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley turning heel because she's just incredibly frustrated that she just cannot beat Io Sky, and she's frustrated. She turns heel. She attacks Io. We do the thing. We move on with it. You feel me? And we get Asuka and Io at SummerSlam. But a lot of people do feel like we're going to get Rhea Ripley thrusted in this, and it kind of reminds me of Charlotte Flair, where Charlotte Flair was kind of thrusted with the Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey situation. She was just thrusted right into it. You feel me? And a lot of people didn't want that. They wanted Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey 1v1 at WrestleMania. We ended up getting the triple threat match. And the difference between, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, I love Rhea Ripley. I'm a fan of Rhea Ripley. I respect Charlotte Flair, but from a fan's point of view, I'm not a big fan of Charlotte Flair, but I respect everybody, man, woman, what they do in the business. You feel me? Respect all of them. But I'm not a big fan of Charlotte. And I was pretty upset that she just got thrusted into a situation where it should have been Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. And this one, for this time, I do not think we're going to get a triple threat between Asuka, Io, and Rhea Ripley, but the possibility of that happening, people need to start bringing up in discussion, because it definitely could happen. Okay, we definitely could get that triple threat match at SummerSlam with Asuka, Io, and Rhea Ripley. And listen, we know that's going to be a banger. You feel me? That's going to be a banger. That's going to be a hit. You feel me? If that eventually does come to pass, the plan needs to be Io versus Asuka. You've teased it twice now. That needs to be the plan. A lot of people want to see it. I want to see those two women eat in that ring and have a classic women's title match. But what does Rhea Ripley do? Where does Rhea Ripley go? I don't really know where she goes, and this is why this is a tough situation. I could see Rhea Ripley getting the win and beating Io, and then Io getting her rematch at Evolution. Against Asuka, and kind of making it a triple threat match. So it's interesting. I don't know where it's gonna go, but this Rhea Ripley hate, y'all gotta cut the bullshit. Y'all gotta stop, man. Wrestling fans do this all the time. They do this bullshit where, oh my God, they're a fan of this person, and then slowly but surely they get in a position where they're always in the title, picture and situation, and then they end up turning on them. Why are you turning on Rhea Ripley? What did Rhea Ripley do? Rhea Ripley didn't do nothing. Rhea Ripley's not in charge. She didn't do nothing. So for y'all to turn on her, y'all are fake as fuck. Y'all are fake fans, bro. If y'all a real one, y'all would stay with Rhea Ripley and support Rhea Ripley. You feel me? If you support Rhea Ripley and you with me, no matter what, let's get it. You already know what it is. But for you fake fans out there, man, y'all crazy. You support her and then you aren't a fan now because what? She's always in the title picture. Yes, I understand that. That is frustrating. It makes it seem like they don't have anything else for Rhea Ripley outside of the world title scene. I understand that. I definitely get that. I have the same problem with Charlotte Flair. But now Charlotte Flair is being booked in a different situation. So I could appreciate that. I could respect that, But the Rhea Ripley hate is crazy because she's still popular. So it's just a majority or minority people who aren't fans of Rhea Ripley. And that's okay. But for you to not be a fan of her because she's always in the title picture, come on, bro. Come on, man. Like I said, I just was never a big fan of Charlotte to begin with. And for her to always be in the title picture, that just made me become a little bit more annoyed of her. But yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of Charlotte in general, but her always being in the world title picture, it definitely added to my frustration regarding her. But I'm not talking about the real person. I'm talking about the character, Charlotte Flair. Rhea Ripley, I'm a fan of Rhea Ripley, love Rhea Ripley, but they need to give Rhea Ripley something else to do outside of being in the world title picture. That's a fact. But then we got her in the title picture, and people are frustrated, and people are scared that Io can potentially lose the title. Yeah, man, there's a possibility that Io could lose, and people are going to be frustrated. And if she does lose, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it because WWE, it's crazy. How do you not have any concrete plans for Io as your champion? WWE has a problem with booking their champions long term and having a plan. They don't have plans. That needs to change moving forward. But let me know. Let me know y'all thoughts, man. You feel me? Let me know y'all thoughts on this discussion with Rhea Ripley and why fans are turning on her. What's the reason? Is it because she's always in the world title scene? Is it something else? Let me know in the comments down below on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Comment down below and let me know what y'all thinking about it, man. I will be coming up here and talking about another separate topic. We're going to be talking about Roman Reigns. His return. Fantasy booking was my idea, how I would do it. But ultimately, why WWE, quite frankly, they need to know what they're doing when it comes to this Roman Reigns return. And is this going to be the last ride, quote unquote, for Roman Reigns in WWE? He's getting a lot of Hollywood looks. He might be on his way out of WWE. I don't know, man. I'll tap in. I'll give y'all my 2 cents on it later this week. So I appreciate y'all showing me love. I'm probably going to drop that on Friday because I'm not going to think I'm going to be doing a Friday Night SmackDown. It's 4th of July. I want to get something out for y'all, but I appreciate y'all spreading the word of the Wrestling Takeover podcast on YouTube. Appreciate it. Love y'all, and I'll catch y'all next time. Remember, this is the most creative and honest podcast in the motherfucking community, man. I appreciate y'all. Love you guys so much. Bless up. God bless each and every one of y'all, man. Hopefully you have a crazy 4th of July. Be safe. I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all on Friday for the topic regarding Roman Reigns.